Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to Press for Truth TV. Glad to have you with us today because we're joined on the line by a special guest. Today we're going to be speaking with Jakub, a young man from BC who was recently arrested by the RCMP. Jakub is a young aspiring journalist, and he was arrested for taking a picture of the RCMP. And this all stems from doing what any good journalist does, which is documenting events as they take place. As Jakub was in a mall and he saw some security guards tackling a man, arresting him. So he did what any good journalist does, which is he busted out the camera and began to document the event. Well, that subsequently led to his arrest by the RCMP. So we have Jakub on the line today. So Jakub, man, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us here at Press for Truth TV.
You're welcome, and thank you for hosting me.
All right, man. So why don't you start us off? Just take us back to the beginning. I mean, this is blowing up into a huge international story right now. So why don't you just start us off? How did this all begin? Just tell us what happened.
Okay, so essentially what has happened was that me and my friend, we were going to a skate park that was right beside Metrotown Mall to do photography, and we have decided to go to the food court, just grab some food. And when we took the ground level, we saw commotion. You know, it was Labor Day, so there was lots of people, but in that general area, there was more people than normal. And we got curious, so we went closer, and then we saw that there was a man being pushed to the ground by some mall security. So I handed my skateboard to my buddy. I pulled out my film camera because it was easier to manipulate the settings instead of a digital one, which would take a couple of minutes, or not minutes, but it would take longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took my time with setting up the right composure of the shot, and because of that, I think the mall security noticed me. And then one of them, I think the one that's pointing at me in the photograph, he went up to me and then using his chest to like lean it right into me, forcibly touching me. He was trying to grab my film camera from my hand, which I was pulling it away from him. And I was telling him that he can't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he realized that he's not going to be able to get it from me, he tried to make me delete it. Like, he was repeatedly telling me to delete it, and I was telling him that I couldn't because it's obviously on film. And then he just gave up on that, and then he just said, move it along. And then, so I complied, and I was moving along. And then, since RCMP/police are one of my subjects I photograph, I got highly more interested in the event that day because two RCMP officers walked in, and they didn't notice me. They didn't know that there was contact. They just walked straight to the mall security and the suspect. So I just grabbed my camera again, set up the right shot, and then the mall security noticed me again, and then three, maybe four of them started grabbing me and holding me down. And then after that, definitely one of the RCMP officers came to investigate what was happening, and I think the other one just stayed with the other suspect too.
So at that point, the security guards at the mall physically held you down the second time around. Is that correct?
Yes, I was still on my legs, like standing up, and then they were telling me to delete the photographs, and I was telling them that I couldn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was after the RCMP officer came to investigate that I tried to like just play along with them and say, okay, I'll delete the pic. Just you have to release my left hand with it.
Mm-hmm.
So after a moment of hesitation, one of the mall security members, he let go of it. In that moment, since my backpack was positioned correctly, I just unzipped it put the camera in and then zipped it back up. And because of that, they started putting me to the ground. And since the bag was on one strap, it was sort of like on my chest. So when they were putting me onto the ground, it was between me and the floor. And because of that, I started to like sort of arch so that I won't be crushing the cameras in it. And I guess they saw that as resistance.
Well, they often use that as an excuse to as resistance. You'll often hear stop resisting," when you're not even resisting whatsoever. And it would seem that, I mean, you did not do anything wrong here. As an aspiring journalist, you were simply documenting the event. So I would lean towards the fact that it appears that these security guards may have even assaulted you, considering the fact that it is in a public space. There is a bit of a gray area there with it being private property, but they have to ask you to leave, and they certainly can't ask you to delete your photos. But everything got real when the RCMP showed up, and that they eventually ended up. Did they handcuff you? Did they take you out to the cruiser? What was that all about?
Um, so when I was on the ground, I honestly don't know what they were doing with me, but they were like raising my legs, trying to like get my arms into like a secure position,
Mm-hmm.
which is like behind my back. And the I'm pretty sure it was the RCMP officer because I'm guessing he was the only one with the handcuffs. He said cuff him, and then he either handed the cuffs to someone that was in a more suitable position to do it, or he just reached down and did it. And then after that, I was lifted up onto my feet, and then he just marched me out of the mall with another member of the mall security, and I'm pretty sure the other RCMP officer stayed behind to tell them what to do with the other suspect. And my buddy, he followed us out, and he was just trying to explain to the RCMP officers that I did nothing wrong, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. You did nothing wrong. It is the duty of independent journalists, citizens media, and anyone with a camera for that matter, especially when it comes to our public servants, people who are wearing uniform. So in light of everything that happened, are you taking some sort of legal action, or I think I read somewhere that you're banned from the mall, which I think is ridiculous because, as we've said, you've done nothing wrong. What are you hoping to see come out of this, and are you taking legal action?
Um, no comment on legal action. No comment right now.
Fair enough. I've had a similar situation that you went through a few years ago where I had some security guards who grabbed me, assaulted my cameraman, tried to take the footage and delete it physically. I ended up contacting that company and complaining to them, and they had to, they issued me an apology letter. They assured me that the employee there, the security guard, was disciplined and that they were taking the appropriate action. But certainly that's a good thing for you to do because we have to stand up for our rights when they're abused like this. I read somewhere too that the officers had to physically cut the bag off of you. Was that because you were in handcuffs?
Yes, yes. I, they were my hands were cuffed behind my back, obviously, and the bag was sort of just hanging off of them. And the one mall security member that was there with us, he was restraining me. Like I was moving away from the officer when I saw him pull out the knife. He was just like holding me in place. And then I didn't know whether he was going to do something other than cut the bag. So I was just like moving back. And then when I saw him reaching for the bag, I was like, "You can't do that. Stop it. And if you do it, you're going to have to pay for it." And he just laughed at that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope that this hasn't made you want to get out of the field of journalism and photography. If situations like this happen again, would you be willing to still film the police officers? Because I think it's a very important thing for people to do is to hold our officials accountable. And if they're not doing anything wrong, they should not fear being under the spotlight of the camera. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree, but no matter where it is, private property, if there's a um, police or RCMP apprehending a suspect anywhere, I think unless it's obviously a military base, then I think it's appropriate to document them. And since technically a mall is private property, but it's open to the public, and there were no signs posted in visible view or front entrances that no photography is allowed, I'm guessing that that law doesn't really come into effect because there were no signs posted.
That's right. It's often a bit of a gray area there with security guards. I mean, there's people in malls taking pictures all the time, filming their children, taking pictures of their families. It's a common thing. And when there's no signs, they could essentially, anybody is trespassing at any given moment. They have to tell you when or when you're not trespassing. And in fact, they have to inform you to leave before taking any kind of legal action. And those mall security guards are simply just that, mall security guards. They're not police officers. They certainly did not have the right to physically touch you, to try to get you to delete your photos. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But I suppose the good thing is this is turning into an international story, and people are starting to realize that there's a serious problem with some of our authority figures here when it comes to documenting them, filming them. Sometimes it seems the police are okay with you filming as long as the cameras are not turned on them. Yeah. So, do you have anywhere where people can go to find out more from you or to help your cause? Do you have a blog or any kind of a website that you'd like to get out there?
Um, well, um, you guys can like follow my Twitter where I would hold more information, and I made a Craigslist post about a um, sort of like a flash mob that would sort of descend in Metrotown, and the theme is photographers. And I have contacted the Flash Mob Vancouver and one other um, organization similar to that, and asked them to make like an official event on it on Facebook. So
I think that is a fantastic idea, and I really, really hope that people get involved with that out in there in your area. Go there, everyone. Follow Jacob on his Twitter. Look for the links on Facebook, and if you have an opportunity to get involved with this flash mob, get out there with your camera and let them know that when you try to silence the people like this, the people will only rise up and fight back. So Jacob, once again, man, thank you for taking the time with speaking with us today, and we'll be sure to post your links in the description, and you keep up the great work, man.
you're welcome and thank you.
Okay, thanks. Take care.